So I've been going back and listening to some old Tim Ferriss podcast episodes, and one of the ones that I wanted to go back and listen to was the one with Pavel Tsatsouline. Pavel is the man credited with bringing the kettlebell to the world, or outside of the Soviet Union, and that's where he's from. Pavel's a super, super cool dude. Is a beast and is considered, a deity among fitness professionals and gurus. I had heard this, I'd listened to this podcast years ago, and though a lot of it, I learned a lot from it back then, it really gelled when I listened to it again recently, because I have learned so much since I listened to it, and everything that Pavel's said in the podcast, I've learned from my own journey of being an athlete and aging and all kinds of things. It's one of the reasons why I started doing the Turkish get up. It's not something I did before, but I never had like I said in my posts, I never had an appreciation for it. And with the beauty of having YouTube and having a video camera to actually video your form, it's immensely helpful, especially having the privacy of doing it and not looking like an idiot, sticking a camera in the middle of a gym and filming yourself. But that said, one of the many, I highly recommend listening to this podcast. You might find what I got out of it years ago might be the same thing like you'll get out of it, but it's definitely worth listening to several times over the course of several years. But one of the big takeaways of it, and this is something that I've learned on my own, and now it's been reinforced through Pavel, is the value of grip. And Harvard, there was a Harvard study not too long ago, and I'll have to post a link of that correlated overall health and fitness in seniors with the amount of grip strength that they have. And at first when I heard that, I thought, is that kind of like the correlation between flossing and cardiac disease? Was there a causality between the two, or is it because you floss, you're more healthy, et cetera, but it turns out there's bacteria that leads to heart disease. In this case, with the grip to strength, it makes sense because if you are active through your 60s and 70s, you are going to have some kind of grip strength. And it's a great determiner to how healthy you are overall and how fit you are overall. Can you game the system in a test? Sure, but you can't really fake strong grip. It's got to be trained. And so what was neat about listening to Pavel's podcast again was, he mentioned one of the tools that he uses for his grip strength is Captains of Crush, which is basically a spring-loaded version of this. This thing is called this is made in Korea, and it's called the Iron 90, and it's made by Go. What's really cool about it, you can't see it because I don't have a close-up on it. What's really cool about it is that it's adjustable. I don't know if you can see the markings here, but it's adjustable, and it allows you to grow, whereas Captains of Crush are set at a fixed amount of are set on a fixed amount, so you would have to have several different Captains of Crush if you wanted to increase your grip strength. This you can actually adjust, so I think I had this set at the third setting, which is 51 kilograms. Yeah, so 25, and you can just move it down and make it really, 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 really hard. I've got this thing pimped out with the long handles. Anyway, but the point of this is that you can use it to basically squeeze. And it builds up your grip strength. Where grip strength comes in handy for me is the Ninja stuff. And even before I started the Ninja stuff this year, one of the biggest takeaways of my deadlift discovery, and my deadlift discovery was that I didn't use traditional weights to deadlift for 2 years. And prior to me stopping, I had set a PR of 280 pounds. 380 pounds, which was like 2.5 of something of my body weight at the time. Stopped cold turkey for 2 years. Deadlifting with weights. I still deadlifted with the K-Box, which I credited to this discovery. And then 2 years later, loaded up a lot of weight onto a bar, and within 2 or 3 weeks of training with a barbell, I was able to outlift my best PR, having not used traditional weights in over 2 years. I did 390, which was like 2.6 in my body weight at the time. But back to that was when I did my previous PR in 2017 with weights and then stopped. My grip strength, that was the limiter of my deadlift. I could barely hold on to that 380 pounds. I got it up and it was about to fall out of my hands, and I got it down just in time just to say, hey, 380, I'm done. Whereas whatever I've been doing as far as grip strength training, when I did the 390 pull, grip strength was not the limiter. That bar was not coming out of my hand at all. My back was going to snap before I let go of that bar. That was the biggest takeaway in that my grip strength was crazy strong, probably the highest it's ever been, yet I actually didn't specifically train it. That I'll have to figure out what caused that. I think part of it is I didn't over fatigue myself, and was able to increase my grip strength slowly without overdoing it, whereas traditional heavy lifts taxes your central nervous system, particularly those muscles, and they just can't develop fast enough. But anyway, fast forward to when I got the Ninja stuff, I had to work on my grip strength, because everyone said grip strength is the biggest problem with biggest thing in Ninja Warrior. For me, it wasn't the grip strength because I knew I had it, but what it was tendinitis, and what it was gripping things at angles and forces that I wasn't used to, and I was starting to get tendinitis back, which I had back in 2017, which is one of the reasons why I stopped lifting traditional weights. So I had to go work on my tendinitis, and one of the things I found in researching that was the idea of rotating your wrist and holding a weight, and that's where this steel mace really came in. Steel club came into handy. It's basically rotating your wrist, and it's working on the muscles, stretching across your forearm. That said, going back to the grip strength thing, with the grip strength thing, one of the things people have said is a great indicator of whether or not you're ready to train hard is your grip. And this is what I've learned. When I was training really, really heavy, my grip was just maxed out and exhausted. And I remember that feeling. It's like you can barely hang on to the weight. You can lift the weight if it wasn't for your grip. And I didn't never cheat. It's not cheating. I never used straps, which I probably should have, and that would have taken a lot of stress off my hands. But I was being boneheaded. But that said, there's devices that you can use to actually measure your grip strength. And one of them is called a hand dynamometer, and this is it. And what it is basically a grip. Let me turn it on. You can actually, this one's pretty fancy. You can set it to enter your age, your weight. I think you can enter your weight, but at least enter your age and your sex. So it gives you an idea of like how strong you are. And you hit start, and this is set to pounds, but you can, oh, it just cut off. Maybe the battery's dead. Yeah, so that was 140 pounds, which is kind of amazing because that is the highest I think I've ever done, and that was actually easy and me just goofing around. Well, this did 140 pounds, and that's considered strong for a 49-year-old. Anyway, this is really cool because it can tell you before a workout whether or not you're ready to train. So the fact that I just pulled 140 pounds without even really trying means I could probably do a good workout. So I'll probably go do deadlifts after this. Okay, so that's the hand dynamometer, and it's really, really handy if you really want to like push that limit and know like, are you ready to train or are you too tired? This is cheap, like $25 or something at Amazon. But what's neat about it is it's accurate. At least this is accurate, because as I got stronger, I can actually increase this, and it would literally match up with that. Yeah, because I started on the lowest setting, which is 25 kilograms or 55 pounds. Is that right? And yeah, could barely do it. And just over the course since February or March, whenever I got this, easily progressed to 84 pounds or 38 kilograms, and kind of put it down after that. And then one day, several weeks ago, while we were watching TV, I was like, well, we'll just do this while we watch TV. And I found, oh, this setting's kind of easy. And I moved it up, and I didn't realize I'd moved it up to 112 pounds. And it was actually pretty easy. So that's what's kind of neat about grip strength training, is if you do it over a period of time, you do get stronger. And that's good because it's a good marker for your overall health as you age. So my goal is when I'm 70, I'm going to have hella good grip strength still. And here's the last little thing I'll do. Part of my grip strength training, or finger strength training, it's not really grip, it's finger strength training, but if you increase the strength of your fingers, that is part of your grip. And it's these talon grip webbings, handles, and I got this on Amazon like I do everything else. But what it is a webbing for 5 fingers, though you only really use 4, and you stick your fingers in it, and you can either use it to pull things up or to pull yourself up or row or whatever. But what it does is it really just stretches and strengthens your fingers, because that's what's doing all the pulling. And what I really like to do is do weighted pull-ups with the 45-pound weight vest. And again, you do this with open grip fingers. Open grip, no thumbs grabbing anything. Kind of just hang, and then you pull up. And yes, hanging by your fingers and pulling yourself up with by yourself doing pull-ups is hard. Then adding 45 pounds on your 143 pound frame is very, very difficult. But it does really make your grip that much stronger. And that's the funny thing is about grip being stronger doesn't necessarily mean more muscle. My forearms now are pretty developed, but if anything, I noticed I have more muscle on the anterior part of my forearm, but otherwise I don't think they're that much bigger. But their tendons are definitely stronger. Grip is clearly stronger, and it's just a win-win. So that's my little 15-minute talk on grip strength. Thanks for watching.